If you're watching this video, I'm sure you know this fact. Mortal Kombat Annihilation sucks. And we all know it. I mean, we've known this since 1997, so why even bother talking about it? Well, I feel everyone focuses on the really obvious stuff. You know, the bad CGI, the bad dialogue.
You're alive! Too bad you will die.
And all the dumb stuff that makes no sense. But what makes this movie bad compared to the first Mortal Kombat?
You gotta be kidding me.
Now, let's be honest. Mortal Kombat 1 isn't really a great movie. I mean, it's definitely not an Oscar contender or an underrated gem. But it's a fun, simple movie, and I feel it's actually good. It knows what it is, and what it is a kung fu movie. They knew this when making it so much that they pretty much just used the plot of Enter the Dragon and threw in all the Mortal Kombat-y stuff. Like Outworld. And yeah. Mortal Kombat Annihilation's biggest flaw, if you look at it with the perspective of it being a kung fu movie, is that the fights are terrible. There's never a one-on-one fight or a normal fight. There's always two different fights happening at once, or people turning into things or something, or doing flips, or hell, they do flips just to get to a spot to talk to each other. We'll often have a fight going on, and in the background multiple people are fighting, or hell, sometimes 4 fights are happening at once at the exact same time. How are we supposed to care? Now, don't get me wrong, the physicality of these fights is very impressive, so there's at least that. But the thing with Mortal Kombat 1 is it had such great characters that we actually connected to the fights. In Mortal Kombat 1, everyone had motivation and everyone was unique and interesting. Mortal Kombat Annihilation has zero motivation. Oh, Earth is going to be conquered by these people. Who cares? We've never even see a normal city or town. It's always deserts or temples or underground passages. So are the bad guys even succeeding? I mean, we live in cities and towns. We're normal people of society. We don't live in these places, so we don't connect. We don't really care. The plot just starts and happens, and that's our motivation. Within 5 minutes, it's like, oh, these people are here, and our Mortal Kombat fighters gotta stop them, and how did they even invade? I mean, I thought Liu Kang was the winner of Mortal Kombat. Didn't he prevent this thing from happening? And suddenly these people just show up, and Raiden is like,
what closes can also open again.
And we're like,
what is that supposed to mean?
And then we realize that this movie is just doing things just for the sake of doing it, and then we're all like,
This is not good.
Mortal Kombat 1 had a natural progression to it. Here's a good example. It's what I call bad guy progression. In Mortal Kombat 1, first we see Shang Tsung, and he's the antagonist, the end boss. Then we see Kano, and he's got a Terminator eye. Then we see Sub-Zero and Scorpion, who do hood rat stuff. And then Goro. 4 arms, taller than Shaq, Goro. There's no way anyone can stop him. This progression shows the rabbit hole that our protagonists have fallen into. It just keeps getting worse. Now let's see how Annihilation introduces its bad guys. Oh, well, that's not very interesting. I mean, there's no build-up. Like, look at this guy. He's a freaking centaur. And within 3 minutes of the movie, we see the centaur. Save the centaur. Give him some build. Show him at that moment when it looks like nothing is ever going to improve for our heroes. This opening scene sucks so much. Why did they kill Johnny Cage? Also, why do it within the same 3 minutes that we see the centaur? And not even by the centaur. These actually could have been great moments in the movie, but they're just crammed into one quick scene. Johnny Cage's death could have been shocking if we built up to it. Motaro could have felt threatening if we showed him in a later time in the movie. Cage's death is pointless because we don't know who Johnny Cage is in this movie. We know what he was like in Mortal Kombat 1, but that's irrelevant in this movie. Build your own characters. Establish motivations and desires. Don't just throw all these characterless characters into situations just for the sake of making some kind of plot. I didn't really want to bring this up because I'm trying to avoid ragging on the dumb stuff. But what's with Raiden's haircut? Seriously, what the hell is this scene? I'm trying to focus on actual plot and characters and stuff, but I can't stop thinking about this moment. Why does he even do this? He comes out of the temple and has a haircut. This would imply that there are scissors in this ancient temple. Why would scissors be in an ancient temple? Maybe people live there? But no, we see that the gods are made of light and wind and stuff. They live there. They don't need scissors. They don't have hair to cut. Based on the actual haircut he has, it looks like an electric razor was probably used. This raises more questions. Did he use his thunder and electricity abilities to power an electric razor that happened to be in an ancient temple? I was 7 when I first saw this scene, and I didn't get it. I'm 24 now, and I still don't. Is it meant to be a change of character? He does nothing to change after this. He's still the same Raiden he was this whole movie. And that's the thing with Annihilation. It's a movie that doesn't change. It just expects everyone to watch the first movie or play the video game to know who these characters are. But just because a character looks a certain way in relevance to a product that the film is adapting from, it doesn't give them depth or a real connection to the audience. Mortal Kombat Annihilation didn't need to do much to be a good sequel, but for whatever reason it didn't understand what made Mortal Kombat 1 good. The interesting thing is, in Annihilation, they were trying to make the film very faithful to the game by having all the characters and animalities and things like that, but it just doesn't work. Mortal Kombat 1 was a martial arts movie or kung fu movie, just like how the game is a fighting game. Mortal Kombat's story in the game was secondary to the gameplay and unique character designs, just like how the story in the movie is secondary to the fights and interesting characters. And that's what people connected with, and that's what makes Mortal Kombat better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That felt good to get off my chest. You know, like I was saying, I saw this movie when I was 7, and I've hated it ever since. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. In all this talk about Mortal Kombat, I actually forgot to introduce myself. My name is Duz, and this is Cinematchup, a show where I compare sequels, trilogies, or films that are similar. I'm hoping to at least make one episode every month, so in the immortal words of Shang Tsung,
It has begun!
thank you for watching.